my way back to you, until you make amends with the demons you've been through. And I can't regret leaving you alone, until you find your way back home. Until you find your way back home. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Honeydew Summer Showdown. I'm Aldiria, and joined today, ladies and gentlemen, he's back, our favorite Rhodes.
Yeah, I'm totally the favorite, of course, as we're going to be having this fun matchup with GFU and HD, which are two bottom of the standings teams. HD looking for their first win in the tournament, and GFU losing 3 straight games, looking to finally try and get another win back.
Yeah, I mean, GFU has been on a bit of a losing streak. They've been really struggling, but Honeydew has yet to even find the little bit of success what GFU has had. So at this point, these two teams are, like you said, battling it out to not be at the bottom. And this could really go either way, but the saving grace for GFU here is the fact that we are starting out on Haven, which is, of course, their map pick in a map that they are notoriously proficient on.
I mean, yeah, we see a GFU pick Haven like almost every single match we've seen. And they're just so stable on it and so good. And of course, someone we're going to be looking out for in this Haven match, especially, is Snorlax, something we have coined as the Snorlax flank that we are definitely going to see in this match, where Snorlax, probably one of my favorite players in this tournament, just a very fun sentinel to watch. And I'm really interested to see if they can find some really successful lurks to open up the scoring in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, Snorlax being the in-game leader for GFU as well, it's not super often you see a team built around your Sentinel / in-game leader player. Usually it's built around your duelists, something more akin that we see with Boba, with Colo, and Fossey. It's very common to see teams building themselves around those star players, but instead, GFU have gone with the route of building around Snorlax in his very flanking and passive play style. So it's made a very interesting formula to watch in GFU, but speaking of in-game leaders, we have a bit of a change up here for Honeydew. We are seeing Deep Blue step away from the in-game leader position, hopefully to focus a little bit more on his entry positions as a jet player, and instead, we're going to see Mimosa picking up that mantle.
Yeah, Mimosa probably one of the most stable players for Honeydew, as we've seen them do so well for them. And hopefully with this IGL role, they'll do a lot better as Nova pokes out.
Yeah, but this opening engagement is not looking good for Honeydew to start out. It looks like a beautiful set play for GFU as they claim 2 players early in the round, and even Julie taking a lot of damage for their troubles. So this is already looking like a GFU pistol unless Honeydew can bounce back.
Yeah, it's only easier for them, especially with that Alpaca fault line, which I mean hit I believe 4 players, which gave Nova just a very easy 2-piece. As Aaron Red's gonna jump peek, fall off the angle. It's gonna call probably GFU everyone to A. And yes, they are coming as Honeydew is gonna commit to this 3v5. This does look really hard for them to do, especially with the disadvantage of them being on attack as well. So I mean, we're gonna see how this happens as it looks like they're about to push in just a moment.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Red playing a great information game to start it out on the Sova, and now she is going to be the first contact out of this long play, and she's going to decide to just fall back, but she'll lose her life for it. Nova quick to trade it back, though. So this is looking like a GFU pistol as more trades go the way of GFU. It's all up to Julie in a 1v3. No spike in hand and not much HP to work with either. And so GFU are just going to play their time and lurk in together. Julie, you have no way of pulling off this round as Nova picks up their 4th kill.
Yeah, like I said at the start of the round, that round was totally off of Alpaca with that beautiful fault line to give Nova a really nice 2-piece. And of course, Aaron Red just jump peeking over sewer, just able to see that the side of Honeydew was going to commit to this A site as their time was ticking. And then, of course, everyone just able to get the kills, and we saw Nova finish that round with a 4-piece and picking up an Outlaw, which I really love to see, and it looks like they might be finding Honeydew early in this round, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I love a good Outlaw pickup. It's one of my favorite guns in the game. I just love the way it sounds, man. It's just such a...
Oh, beautiful.
There's something so meaty about it. It's just a fun gun. But yeah, I mean, definitely a great round for GFU. Something we kind of expect out of them. Like we said, this is sort of their... This is their map. Oh my god! 3 kills, though, out the gate with the Outlaw. And Nova is looking to start this game out on fire. Popping the Blade Storm, wants to keep up this aggression, but quickly will go down to the new sub of It's Karoo. And Mimosa will even pick up a kill with the Sheriff. However, with the trade coming through, it's all left up in a 1v3. And this looks completely unwinnable for It's Karoo.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how It's Karoo can do in this game. One of the highest elo players, and of course subbing in for Liam today. And I'm really interested to see how they do being on the controller, pushing Julie into an initiator role as well. They do find the nice picks, and we'll see what can happen. Nova should definitely not hit that button, but Alpaca will find the final kill. A pretty simple 2nd round conversion, as, I mean, Nova at the start of that, finding the collat with the Outlaw and then finding the 3rd kill as well is just beautiful to start off this half for the side of GFU.
I love the 3K, not gonna lie. The investment of the Blade Storm is a bit interesting. I probably could have held on to that and make this... I mean, yeah, it was definitely confidence bleeding through, but you could have definitely kept the Outlaw and instead choose to take the Blade Storm over into this round. And it would have been a really nice thing to have here. Basically can act as a full-blown rifle at times. But instead, they're gonna just opt for a bit of a more traditional bonus round.
I mean, I don't blame Nova, but at the same time, I think there's discipline that needs to be involved there. As I mean, Nova was 7-0 at the time of death until it died. Does pop the Blade Storm, which you would hope. As look at Nova here, has a really nice Bucky position. Alpaca might have baited himself enough. We're gonna see if he can find this.
It's all up to whether or not Mimosa clears it, and a shallow clear will not do the job. Mimosa does get traded back by Julie, however, though, so Nova not find any more value. It's going to continue to be a man disadvantage here for GFU.
Look at all the space Honeydew has around the map, too. Waffle might be looking to try maybe find a pick on the rotate from this B position. As, I mean, Itzker is there, too, with only 2 people going to be attacking this A site. It looks like GFU is giving it up, so Honeydew do have a free site for this. Ooh, never mind. Aaron Red does push back on. They're looking to potentially fight this as the fault line comes in.
Yeah, the execute is coming in on this A site, and it's going to be Aaron Red to hold it off, but can't do anything. D Blue's good for it. Snorlax looking to try and clear out this mid position and not able to best Waffle. A bit of an Uno reverse card there. It's going to leave Minty in a 1v3 that will surely not go his way, as he does pick up Waffle and recovers the Vandal. Might just choose to save here.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that as we see its Kuro teleport onto Heaven as well. So even if they went towards that side to maybe look for a clear, will not find it at all. But I do love that Uno reverse card of Waffle getting the kill on the Snorlax, where we see Snorlax will be doing that a lot during this game. And I really like seeing that, as Honeydew will pick up this third round, or the first round on the third round of the map.
Yeah, I mean, they avoid the bonus here, but unfortunately, Minty has managed to lurk to a pretty strong position here. Could take some of the guns out of the hands of Honeydew, but only going to get one. Still worth it for sure, because this puts Honeydew into a pretty rough economy position, whereas we see GFU being in a much better spot comparatively. So very good heads-up rotation from Minty there to make sure to keep Honeydew in check.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely a very smart play, especially just getting the economy, like you said, down of Honeydew. They're going to be forcing the 3 guns with half armor, so if Honeydew do take more damage during this round, it could be really bad for them. But it does look like they're going to be defaulting from both sides, and I do wonder what Mimosa is cooking on this round. It does look like they want to maybe try and rotate some GFU members over to A and then look to hit C, and that looks exactly what they're doing, and it happened. Of course, there is a lot of utility from Snorlax on this C site, but well, I mean, we're going to see how this plays out, as it's probably right when they get on the site, all the members of GFU are probably going to look to rotate back. And I mean, this is just a really nice call from Mimosa that I really like.
And far up on this long position with the dash activated, the player that I'm going to be having my eyes on the most this game is none other than D Blue, who has lost the position of IGL, so hopefully to free up some more kills like what we just saw on the Minty. Brought down to 5 HP though means that most likely the brakes will have to be hit if D Blue wants to keep this man advantage in for Honeydew. Plant does go down, but at the cost for D Blue, caught on a rotation to the back of the site. So it's back to an even man count. Utility being flooded out. So many flashes from the Breach players, but Aaron Red gets the opener on this retake to its Karoo, and Nova manages to take out Julie as well after Shock claims Mimosa. So it's all left up to Waffler at the back of long. Lineups come out, but Snorlax finishes it off. And so we're gonna see GFU claiming another round and breaking the economy of Honeydew.
Yeah, that was the problem that we pointed out before, is that if they lost this round, especially after they force out some guns here, their economy is in shambles. It's Kuru and Julie will be able to buy, but besides that, it's going to be a save for the rest of the team, as we saw D Blue get an opening pick, which it felt like was going to open the round up very well, as he got it on the Minty, one of their better players on GFU. But it just didn't matter, as they just got flooded on site. Nova, Snorlax, Alpaca, just some really good utility usage from Aaron Red and Alpaca, and they're just able to find the picks and not let a single member go, as their economy is growing really strong now, as we're going to see Honeydew try and cook something up for this next round, as they're down 3-1.
And D Blue spotted out in the barn as well is going to mean that this eco location for the push is going to be noted early, and it's going to make it really hard for them to catch any lacking players on GFU. Dashes into the site, but Snorlax is going to claim Waffle, so already this eco is in shambles, as Aaron Red is even able to bet its Karoo. This is getting out of hand for Honeydew if they continue to lose these rounds. You need to be racking up these attacking side wins.
Yeah, definitely, and they didn't clear any of the utility either, so they just clean it up for a flawless for GFU. They take almost no damage, only a few shields. And I mean, that is one of the perfect situations for them to make it a 4-1 half so far. And I'm just very impressed with their game. I mean, yes, that was an eco for the most part for Honeydew, but either way, they're just playing very smart, which I think you'd really like to see, as we're going to see a timeout come out from its career for Honeydew.
Yeah, already, waving the red flag, right? This is pretty rough for Honeydew, but I don't blame them. They're in a rough position now. They're down 4-1. The economy of GFU is absolutely beaming right now. all these players above 4,000 credits means they're going to have at least 2 more rounds of buys, most likely, even if they lose. And I mean, that might not even be a possibility. GFU's looking so sharp right now in Haven.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing that Honeydew does have going for them is that their ult economy is coming up. They're one ult orb off with D Blue and Mimosa for their respective ultimates, and then of course they have the Rolling Thunder for Julie to potentially open up a site for them. And I think Rolling Thunder is just so good on attack. They can just completely open up a site onto Haven especially. And I really want to see Julie. I hope they're talking about that, of how they want to take which site they're about to do, and that's going to hopefully give them some leeway to continue in this game, because of course, like you said, their economy is in shambles as you hit tab and look at it right now. This is, I mean, it's looking rough. And then now Nova also picking up an op. It's on the wrong side of the map, which is useful, as Honeydew, they only have to verse Snorlax. I really hope they also break the trips, because it does feel like each time they've played on the sea, they keep forgetting.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing that, I mean, so many pings coming out, it seems, from the attackers, they've got to know that there's going to be some sort of utility, but an early Hunter's Fury is popped here from Aaron Red, and it yields no results, so it's going to mean that D-Blue is just going to send it into this C site. And there's really no resistance here from GFU. They're actually opting to just full play this retake.
Aaron Red with a very interesting Hunter's Fury, and it looks like Honeydew is going to look to play a spam. Actually, no, they played a Garage. Ooh.
Yeah, but what does land is those shock darts. Aaron Red getting so much damage onto D-Blue, and even picks up Waffle. Its Karu goes down to Nova, and so now this is a really, really bad situation here for the side of Honeydew. We need to see a step up from one of these players. They have the Rolling Thunder, they have the Hunter's Fury, they have so much to stall out this retake, but it's the first tap. It's going to be the Rolling Thunder going out, and this should be a Honeydew run with this Hunter's Fury coming out. The time is so low, and D-Blue on the Sing is going to pick up one. Spike's being stuck, but with the smoke fading, Julie can clean up with Mimosa chiming in as well, and finally we see Honeydew back on the board.
I mean, they had to use a lot of ultimates to do it, but they did it, as we saw the Rolling Thunder and the Hunter's Fury come out for Julie and Mimosa to just stall that bomb plant. And then, of course, we saw Julie at the end find a 3K as everyone was just lined up for the pickings. And, I mean, GFU really couldn't do anything there. They used their Hunter's Fury at the start of the round, which I think was a very big misstep, because they got no value at all. Yes, they got some shock dart value, but at the end of the day, it really didn't do much. Of course, Minty at the start of the round uses From the Shadows to realize that Honeydew is there, but at the end of the day, a decent round for Honeydew to maybe start stepping up their economy as they slowly, hopefully, can get down to Nova as he pushes through.
Yeah, I mean, Nova's all in here, reinvesting the op and even popping the Blade Storm, so that op is going to be lost, but he's at least able to get 1 kill in return. So it's gonna be a great start here from Nova. 14-4, 6 rounds in, and already on his second Blade Storm. Doesn't want to sit on those at all, but that leaves GFU in an awkward spot. They're now missing a player to try and hold off this attack, and now Minty under scrutiny on A long rather. He's gonna have to be forced to fall back, and this is where I want to see Honeydew stepping up their mid-rounding a little bit.
Yeah, it's been very slow, and it did feel like it almost screwed them a few times ago, but it is looking like they're going to commit here. It's only a Minty on site, which is definitely going to hurt them. And I do want to say, Nova dying there with the op invested does also really hurt this retake if they choose to do it as Minty.
Waffle's cutting out Minty, able to get a few shots over, but this plant will go down, and so it's just going to be yet another retake here. But Snorlax already working his way up the flank. You got to make a little bit of pace to this, though, because the plant is already down, so you don't have a ton of time to work with. You've got to get there to support your team as everybody is setting up. This is Snorlax chess game right now. It's all where the pieces will fall, though, as these peaks will start to come in. Snorlax to get the first engagement out of long. How will it go, though? As it's actually going to be Julie just tucked into the site. So instead, Aaron Red chooses to drop out of heaven, and it's multiple fights onto the player of Hella D-Blue. Julie takes out one more as well, though, and Mimosa stands strong in the site. And so it's another Honeydew round here.
GFU playing way too slow in there, and that gives Honeydew a 3rd round, and that actually breaks the economy for GFU, as they're not really finding much value on these rounds. Honeydew is looking to potentially tie this back up, but that's not what I want to talk about. Nova popping the blade, the knives again, but they have the op this time, so they're just pushing through, lose all their economy with a useless op that was never used, and then just gives a free 4-on-4, which Honeydew happily take, and they just take free A site off it as well.
Yeah, it's just a bit odd from Nova, but gonna keep up this aggression and is gonna get the opening pick here on the barn. It could be a really quick eco round as Honeydew look to want to fight it, but you're gonna lose your lives because Aaron Red has talked into barn position. Minty now inside of this smoke could be good for multiple, only gonna get one though, but Nova's there to trade it back, and so it's all left down to Mimosa, and this has spiraled here for Honeydew. Can Mimosa stabilize? Gonna get a free kill here onto Aaron Red and knows the location of at least where the players used to be, and they still remain there. Snorlax and Nova. Nova on very low HP here, but will he get the timing? Yes, he will, and just catch Mimosa in the back. And so that's going to be a Rogue Energy Thrifty here for GFU.
Yeah, that low buy, they just pushed out straight through mid. You see it come time to time, and Nova, of course, finding that opening pick with the Stinger. And it did feel like it caught Honeydew off guard quite a bit. You saw It's Karu push out and with the spike just dying by themselves on the box, so they had the spike as well. That just went totally in shambles of Honeydew, and that's definitely not what you want to see when they're trying to mount a comeback as they're back down by 2.
Yeah, losing to the Thrifty there, it's just brutal, and I'm almost shocked to their decision to re-engage into mid there. And like I said, I know that that's still early round, that's not quite at mid round, but their calls and adaptations so far in this map have been something kind of left a sour taste in my mouth, to be honest. I wish that we would have almost see them identify the fact that this is obviously a fast hit up mid and they're going to try and overwhelm you with numbers. So instead, just fall back, play one of the long positions, and make your way onto the site to just add that little bit of pressure to the defenders, force them to maybe split up or force them into your crosshairs. I don't like the re-aggress there, to be honest.
Yeah, it was definitely very overeager, especially knowing that GFU had a lot of space up mid, and with some very good short-range abilities. And now we're going to see Honeydew rotate to the C side, and everyone is going to be there, essentially. Only Alpaca still over on the A side. This is actually pretty good for GFU, as Honeydew's going to look to hit.
I mean, this is what I've been talking about. Their plays are so telegraphed because their mid-round adjustments are there. And so Honeydew is just completely shut down on this C-site execute. Nobody can swip through. And it's all left to It's Karu, who's left in a 1v4. Invests the 1v or from the shadow. So it's at least gonna give this round a look. This plant will go down. And could we see the stand-in player step up big for Honeydew? GFU quickly rotating over towards the A site, but as soon as they get close, they're going to cut all noise and start to plant some seeds of doubt. It's Karu with a very interesting off angle and might be able to catch a couple of players here, but they have an idea, and Nova's too smart to this play, is immediately aware of where It's Karu is, and that's just going to be such an easy round for GFU.
I know we talked about Nova a lot so far this game, the good and the bad, but 20-4 on round 9, that is something that you have to look at and be like, wow, that is our player right now. As I mean, we usually see Snorlax putting up these numbers, but now we're seeing a different player as well being able to also be proficient. And I'm really impressed so far, especially with every kill they've gotten. But like you said, I want to bring it back to Honeydew. They're so telegraphed in these plays. It does feel like, I mean, they are testing stuff out with Mimosa, have not been IGLing for Honeydew long to my knowledge. But either way, it does feel like a lot of these plays are just very easy to read for GFU, and they've done so. They're going to go for a fast B.
Yeah, I mean, another fast round that they're going for, and they're going to be right in the crosshairs of Alpaca. Only good for one, though. And so it's going to leave it all up to Aaron Red in the site here, hiding inside of the smoke. And instead, all of Honeydew are going to decide to go to the A site, one of the first mid-round adjustments and calls that has really worked. And so possibly Mimosa might be slotting into this IGL position well, as Julie managed to secure the long position by taking out Nova, and it's finally an advantageous post-plant situation for them.
Now that is a call I wanted to see. That was beautiful, just pushing through B, heading up through Link, finding the pick, and then I think the most important pick there was Julie finding Nova on the flank. Of course, you knew that they were going to be there. Snorlax does make this a 3v3 post plant, but I think that was just a really good play from the side of Honeydew.
Yeah, Neural Theft goes out, but half the spike is gone now, and with the Nano Swarms on it as well, that's going to surely secure this round. It doesn't matter what kills come through. Snorlax has to stick the spike, and might not even be enough time, but Waffle will secure the round. I don't like the investment of the Rolling Thunder there at all, though. Bit of a I don't know, overcommitment from... It was just not necessary at all.
It wasn't, but either way, I think we have to give Honeydew our props there. That was a beautifully run round. I really like what they did. Of course, Julie with a very weird Rolling Thunder there. They do still have a Hunter's Fury and Lockdown for these last 2 rounds, but that was really weird. Either way, Julie finding that pick on the Nova completely won them that round. You're going to see Nova back on the Operator through A, and they might find a pick here early in this round. This could be tragic.
Yeah, I mean, Nova's been playing hyper aggressive, so maybe a more passive position with the op will catch them off, but unfortunately the shot will go awry, and even the re-aggress with the Blade Storm will not work for Nova. D-Blue finally able to best his rival in what has been an incredibly one-sided matchup so far in terms of the Jet players. But with the lockdown coming out, that means that it's just going to be a free site for Honeydew, so eyes transfer to this flank and the retake.
Ooh, the double flank. They're either going to find a lot or they're going to find absolutely nothing as they're so aware about this. Can't hear that.
Yeah, this is the GFU special, a double flank here. Minty is the first spotted out and is going to throw out the paranoia, but they don't know that there's 2 players here so far. Snorlax has been completely quiet. With a little bit of running, though, it will be revealed that it's multiple players here, and so they're going to go down inevitably. Waffle and Mimosa are able to stabilize this flank, and it's another unwinnable retake for GFU. We've seen a beautiful recovery from Honeydew so far.
Honeydew have made this a 6-5 half. They can maybe make it a 6-6, as I don't blame Nova for calling a timeout here. That was a very tragic couple of rounds, as it does feel like Nova just falling early in these rounds gives Honeydew such a free sight every time, as this A site hit has gone so well for Honeydew. It doesn't matter which way they do it. It does feel like they're able to play better on it, and they're just more fluent, as when they go C, it does feel like it falls off quite a bit, and GFU is able to retake it. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing right now from Honeydew in this later part of the half, and I really want to see what Mimosa can cook up on this final round and see if they can make it a 6-6 after it wasn't looking good early on.
Yeah, maybe just needed a little bit of time to warm up into things. Definitely, so far, it's going better than we would have expected. It was 5-1 at one point, I believe.
It was 4-1.
It was 4-1 at one point. So this is, like I said, this is at this point it's been stabilized. Yes, you're still looking at the best case scenario, a 6-6 half on what is generally an attacker-sided map, but it's still more or less even in the current landscape of things. So this is, even if they lose this round, it's still recoverable, and especially with how they've been looking in the last few rounds, it feels like they've finally found their footing.
Yeah, especially since this is like GFU's best map and Honeydew is trying out their new IGL. I do see that it is a very good scenario where they are able to find a lot of these kills. As we're gonna see it early from the shadows. Ooh, they don't commit to it. That would have been very interesting. As Honeydew just staying in their spawn. I'm really interested to see what they're cooking up here and if they're trying to just catch GFU off guard, playing very aggressive.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, GFU, they've just had a moment to stop and think as they pop their time out last prep phase. This is now looking like they could possibly one-up Honeydew, as they've seemed to have read this decently well. There's a decent amount of mid presence, but mainly a double stack towards the A site. A lot of this is gonna come down to Waffle and his impact on this flank, something we haven't seen a lot of value so far.
Yeah, it does look like they probably are going to be coming to this A hit. There is only 2 players on site, but there are 2 very good players that can hold this. As we're going to see the Owl Drone come out potentially for both sides, as we see Mimosa hovering it. And I wonder what Honeydew are going to do here. They're playing it so slow. It does feel like they want to potentially rotate, but it looks like Deep Blue is going to gear up for a dash onto site here. This is going to be very interesting as it plays out.
I mean, GFU aren't biting on the rotate because Honeydew hasn't really done that at all. Deep Blue's going to get the opening pick, and so that's just going to be the rest of GFU falling back and opting to play this retake instead. But the thing to keep your eye on here is Nova only has a judge, and Waffle still on this flank has managed to slip the net. Nova thought that he fully cleared mid, and so now Waffle is teed up to get so much value here. The Rolling Thunder goes through, so that off that coverage, Waffle's just going to take out Snorlax. Nova manages to get one with the judge, even recovers a Vandal, but the Heaven position is too strong here from Deep Blue. Waffle goes down to Nova, and this is absolute pandemonium, but the time is coming low, and the Hunter Fury comes through for the stall. Deep Blue still inside of Heaven, is going to deny the coverage, and this is a Honeydew recovery.
Yeah, they came back from a 4-1 deficit and make it a 6-6 half. I mean, you'll take that all the way. And I really like these different calls they are pulling off on that round. And I mean, that slow A hit just eventually did work out. And of course, Nova just not clearing Waffle just completely opens it up because it kind of makes them skittish as they went on the A site. But of course, I have to give my props to D Blue finding a nice 4K up in Heaven. GFU not expecting it at all as they use the Rolling Thunder and everything to get onto site. And I think that was just a really well executed round from Honeydew.
Yeah, but this is now the danger zone for Honeydew as we transfer to GFU's attacking side. This is where Snorlax thrives, and I even got Snorlax flanked in my DMs earlier today. He said that he's looking to get a knife kill today, so I'm very interested to see how this shapes up. But Deep Blue to start it out pretty good on this half has had a bit of a streak of increase in form so far these last few rounds. Nova though looking to level the playing field, not able to commit to a swing through this smoke though, so he's just gonna fall back and grab the orb. But Minty to claim D Blue's life here, so it's evened up.
I mean, yeah, D Blue does go down eventually, does find the pick onto Alpaca, so some utility is gone. But I think that is definitely a worth trade for GFU as they take down HD's current best fragger, as they have a free C site. Yes, Waffle is going to be rotating back to this, but I think it's a bit too late as they have it for free. And now we see Snorlax do what Snorlax does, go slow B, looking to potentially find some value on the Julie here.
Yeah, Honeydew, you have to be aware of this. There's no way you're not. And Julie shallow checks it, but does manage to catch the shoulder. So Julie will take care of the flank. It's going to all come down to these site players as Honeydew with the man advantage is too much to overcome, and they will claim this pistol.
I mean, that was nicely done. I think Snorlax was the point where it could go well or go bad, and Snorlax falling to Julie just definitely helps Honeydew have the advantage with the numbers, and they of course just push all the way through. We didn't really see it. I only saw it at the corner of my eye, but we saw it's Kyra or Kira, don't know how to say it. Either way, Paranoia come out, which
I'm guessing.
Kuru, okay. Used the Paranoia, and it actually flashed two of the members of GFU, so it actually pushed them into a very nice position for them to just easily clean up the kills. And something we don't see usually, as Honeydew has been very bad on them, is win a pistol round. So that is very huge into them opening up this game, and they find their first lead of the game.
Yeah, but now they have to avoid the dreaded curse that they've certainly fallen to on more than one occasion. Nova, quick up through this garage position. What value can you find? Stifled out towards window, and so now all of GFU are going to choose to fall back here. And Honeydew have managed to stifle this early aggression. But it's actually a re-aggress up into garage. Minty is posted up. Any over-aggression here from Honeydew could spell a snowball of a round, but they're all just playing it passive, playing it safe, holding their positions and trusting in their teammates, which is great to see. The Owl Drone is going to clear out mid, and guess what? That is going to confirm the lack of presence from Snorlax. Julie, early contact out of the garage position, throws out the fault line to try and stall out, and Waffle's there to support. It's Karu to pick up another, and Alpaca is able to trade back, but this is slowly getting out of hand, and it's perfect for Honeydew because they will not be losing this force.
I love the patience from Honeydew there. They just played nice and slow, did not give up anything, let GFU come into them, and it worked out exactly how you would think. As, I mean, we might see Snorlax potentially find D-Blue, but it's not happening. And this is just a very clean round for GFU, or sorry, Honeydew, losing only 2 members, and they are up by 2 in this game.
Yeah, I mean, a great way for them to start out this second half, and now we're going to be looking towards what GFU can do in terms of adjustments on their attacking side. They finally have access to their rifles. What can they do? Actually, Snorlax
Yeah.
doesn't have enough for a rifle with full armor. And it's the same thing for Minty. And that means Deep Blue is going to be so much more threatening on this Outlaw. There's 2 players that it can claim early. Nova, though, investing a Outlaw of his own, possibly looking to pick off some of these larger wounds. But what a shot from Deep Blue through the wall is going to just take out Nova as I fumble over my words from it.
Like Julie's fault line, or sorry, not Julie's fault line. Alpaca's fault line was too slow, so Deep Blue was able to actually just slip around there and find the pick. Of course, we just see Aaron Ray get a pick as they're gonna be looking to go potentially fast C to reclaim this round with a 4-on-4.
But Honeydew has been on top of it. They've managed to rotate a lot of their players towards this, and Waffle's even able to claim Minty with just a Sheriff. That's going to tee up Minty to come through the smoke, and Snorlax with the flank is going to be able to keep this at least at an even man count. But there's so many players of Honeydew who are well equipped for this on the retake. This could very much get out of hand. It's going to come down to Snorlax holding Grod's position, and Deep Blue is going to take him out. And so now Aaron Red is going to have to rely on these lineups. This is looking like yet another Honeydew round. Shock darts go out and will be landing on the spike, but it's Deep Blue to just tap it, not holding it, and Alpaca will claim the kill, though. So now we need to see the rest of Honeydew stepping up here, but they're not going to be able to, or they're going to do just that. It's going to be all the kills going their way. Do they have the time? It's going to be close, but yes, they do with a second to spare, and that's a bonus round.
I mean, that round all started off with Deep Blue finding the headshot Outlaw on the Nova, and then they eventually... It was beautiful. And then, of course, we saw a 3v3, but the difference of the 3v3, the 2 best fraggers on the side of GFU were dead. The 2 worst fraggers in this game for Honeydew were dead. It was so much in the advantage of Honeydew to the point where they were just able to find it. And now we see a Deep Blue op coming out with an eco for GFU. They are not going to be pushing it, but maybe, ooh, Nova. And I'm just going to play slow as we see a potential C hit with 2 people on that site, and Honeydew are in the driver's seat of this game right now.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to see Deep Blue step up, and that's exactly what he's done. And now, at this point, I hope we see a bit more of a reserved nature in comparison to Nova on this defense side. We saw Nova giving over a lot of picks, and now we can see Deep Blue just thrive by playing his life and keeping this op on board, something that Nova was never able to do. You have the Blade Storm to fall back on as well if you lose the op, and so I like that Honeydew is playing the economic side of it a little bit more. It's Karoo, even able to pick up a kill on the Snorlax, who has not been able to find any value on these flanks. So now it's going to be a 3v5 as the plant is going down, but this is looking like yet another Honeydew round with a massive weaponry advantage.
Yep, they have a lot of economy, and they're about to hit it as... I mean, that was just so clean from Deep Blue, holding that angle as Paranoia and Fault Line comes out. This is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to tee up Waffle and D-Blue to just execute these players on the site. It's all left up to Aaron Red. Able to find one with the Singer, but as the spike is already being diffused, there is no way that Aaron Red can win this round, and it is going to be a 10th here for Honeydew. They are looking beautiful on this counterplay on Haven.
Yeah, this is 7 in a row for Honeydew. Probably the best we've seen this team so far in this tournament, and an understandable timeout coming out from GFU as Honeydew is running the show. Nova keeps getting picked off early in these rounds, and we're seeing D-Blue just able to find these really nice picks. And I feel like that's something we haven't been able to see from him usually, so I'm really impressed by the skill that he's putting out and showing us why he's a good Jet main. And I'm just really impressed from what we've seen from him so far as he's been able to pick it up after a slow start.
Yeah, and yeah, still not rivaling the output of Nova, right? Nova's still 22 and 11, an absolutely nuclear game for him, quite fitting. But I mean, at this point, does it matter? You're losing the map. You're down 10-6. Doesn't matter how well your star player is doing if you can't string together these rounds at all.
I mean, yeah, definitely. It feels like Honeydew are just... I feel like the main thing, Honeydew's finding the opening picks. which is just very impressive. And we can see some pings on the map right now. It looks like GFU want to go for a fast B, which at this point, I'm not really sure if that should be the call, but I mean, I don't blame them as they do have a Hunter's Fury first post plant, and I mean, I just like how dominant Honeydew has been here, and it looks like D Blue is going to be setting up towards the C site as we're going to get a default potentially going out through A.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how I feel. I actually was kind of on board for the early engage onto B. You know that your opponents have an op, you kind of want to overwhelm them while they're, you know, don't have as much retake potential. But they've instead decided to play another slow standard round, and that's exactly where the op is going to thrive, and it's even going to get the tag onto Aaron Red, so she'll be forced to play this round at a massive disadvantage. Early contact here onto the B site, and Nova manages to get one, an opener that we've seen multiple times from this star player, and not able to collect the second though onto Mimosa. And so now this is looking like once again a position where Honeydew are going to be able to bounce back. Snorlax lurking through his own cage is going to get caught by Waffle, and so now this is spiraling out of control. Honeydew are teed up for a great retake as the paranoia comes through and the lockdown is committed. They can all start to slip into these positions, and D Blue catches the aggression of Minty, leaving Alpaca in a 1v4 situation that he surely will not come out on top of.
I don't know why Alpaca didn't plant earlier. Did feel like the positions of GFU did eventually push out afterwards. And I mean, I don't know what GFU's plan was after they kept pushing out of the B site to maybe try and find a pick, which I felt like it was a bit overzealous because Honeydew was just really just waiting for them and able to find a lot of value as we saw. And now we see D-Blue just finding another 2 picks with this operator as well. You're just seeing so much value coming out of Honeydew, just playing together more than GFU did. And I mean, it's a total flip of how this game started. I really need to see GFU step up, especially Nova's teammates, because it does feel like it's Nova or nothing, as we see a lot of ultimates in their arsenal. Nova one off an ult orb as well. They need to find something here.
Yeah, you said overzealous on the last round. I was just about to highlight the fact that they have multiple ultimates on board. They had the potential to get the plant down and play the stall, but instead they got a little bit greedy. They wanted to do something akin to what Honeydew did in their B hit, where they link it into another site, but it doesn't work out the same. And so now they are in such a bad position. They're going to choose to go for this A site, and the Rolling Thunder will be committed, but the player is able to evacuate quickly enough that, yes, it'll get you the plant, but it doesn't get you any kills. And so now Honeydew once again get to play a retake with good numbers, something that they've really been performing well so far in this game. Could be a quick retake though, as multiple players are already set up to heaven. Deep Blue pops then delayed storm, so is looking to be the first contact out of the CT position, dashing into the site and not able to find Valley. Actually manages to get one, but Nova and Alpaca quick to trade back. It's Guru keeps it even though, and Mimosa contributes as well. It's all left up to Aaron Red in the 1v2. It still has this Hunter's Fury as well, but there's no teammates to cover you, so it's dangerous. Gets the timing though onto Mimosa, and this means that he can just fall back and play the Hunter's Fury. This is an Aaron Red clutch all the way, as Julie can't stick the spike fully, gets the tap, and wait, Aaron Red, so close, a little bit under a second left on the defuse, but that could have gotten out of hand.
Well, that was a mosh pit of kills. GFU finally breaking the 8-win streak of Honeydew. Their economy though is so bad. It is not great compared to Honeydew's. I mean, Honeydew's isn't great either. But I mean, D Blue can't afford an op again. Just really performing. But I do want to say GFU, they're able to find that round. You know, it maybe gives them some more confidence to come out here. It is still 11-7 in favor of Honeydew, and they did use quite a few ultimates. I mean, there's a lot of ultimates for both sides. We need to see Nova here be able to use these this Blade Storm in a very effective manner. Because it does feel, like I said before, it's Nova or nothing right now. So I really want to be able to see some sort of pressure he can put on Honeydew here.
Yeah, I mean, if your teammate's having a nuclear game and you can't really step up, it might be better to just double down on it. But the reason that Honeydew is a bit not as well off on economy as you would think is because they've chosen to invest into this op so much. But it's definitely been a worthwhile investment because it's allowed D Blue to close this gap between him and Nova. So now this has been a huge part of Honeydew's success. Exactly what we said. We wanted to see D Blue step up, and with the op, he's been doing that. It's now once
This
again, like you
split.
said, yeah, this split, and we need to see some kind of opener from Nova here on the A side, I feel.
This Aaron Red could go hard as well. They're going to see Aaron Red over there, but they are rotating, so that's actually going to be huge for Honeydew as they already have 3 members. And I mean, if someone decides to go to this garage position as well, Deep Blue's there with an op, and it looks like Nova's gonna oblige.
Yeah, Snorlax at this point, though, in his signature position, in his element, will he be able to find the value? Alpaca and Aaron Red looking to aggress the CT position, and Aaron Red is good for 1, even manages to get an upgrade in the process. So now, Honeydew, you are on the back foot here, and you still have Snorlax in your back line. Manages to get 1, and Nova even cleans up D-Blue. So this is looking like, once again, GFU will manage to stave off match point unless we have something come out of its Karoo. Low HP though, manages to get 1 more. Nova takes out Mimosa, and with a 1v3 from its Karoo, it's not gonna work out.
Aaron Red with quite the if they died, I would say over aggression, but it was such a risky play that ended up working out, finding the pick, forcing Steph to use this timeout as a bit of a skid now has started, just a small bit, but it does put the economy of Honeydew in a bad spot, I would say, as Mimosa does have the money to potentially buy 2 people. I'm not really sure on the facts about that, but it does feel like that operator didn't get enough value on this round, which did mean that it does put Honeydew back quite a bit as we see GFU maybe potentially building a few rounds after that really nice C take. And I'm really interested to see what's going to happen now because we've seen Steph call some really good timeouts and some really good plays to win some rounds. So I really want to see what she can pull off here with her team.
Yeah, I mean, if Mimosa wanted to buy 2 players, Mimosa would have to force the light shields and not rebuy any utility. Just a little bit of quick mass, you know. Light shields 400 and 2 guns is 5,800. So, you know.
Yeah, well, I never passed grade 1, so you know what? I just eyeball it.
I mean, you know, I like numbers. Numbers are fun. I love economy, honestly. It's one of my favorite aspects of these style of games. You know, Counter-Strike, Valorant.
The strategy.
List ends there. But I love economical games. They're really interesting to me, and the thing that I love about Valorant is that it kind of combines the economy of CS with the economy of Overwatch. Overwatch focuses a lot on ultimate economy, and well, this aggressive play isn't going to go well. So, I mean, no matter what, the economy cannot. It doesn't lie, right? It's really in the favor here of Honeydew.
Especially with Deep Blue only having a classic there too, just completely just pushing up right into the op of Nova. I mean, Steph was cooking, let me say. Steph was cooking as Kiru and Alpaca will find a trade with each other as Nova finds Kiru.
I mean, I said earlier today, Steph was talking to us about some of these change-up, and I said let her cook, but Nova is cooking right now. He's picked up this op of Deep Blue, is looking to find his form that hasn't particularly lost, but hasn't been able to put up rounds for his team like he was in the first half. With 3 kills and Minty picking up another one onto Mimosa. It's all left up to Waffle, and we saw a crazy clutch out of Waffle a few weeks ago, but this is out of your wheelhouse.
Yeah, that was a 1v3. This is a 1v4, only Sheriff. And I mean, I do like that Honeydew didn't force their money, so I'm really happy. It does feel like in the past, they would really force, and we're seeing another op come out from D-Blue. I'm not really surprised with the value that we have seen. It just, at the end of the game, you have to be really confident about it, because if you find no value with this, it could mean the end, as we're going to see Nova versus D-Blue in this short op. This will probably decide the round, I would think, but we do see most of players, no, never mind, it's just going to be a default. I'm actually really interested to see how this goes.
Yeah, this op matchup is going to be absolutely massive, and Deep Blue is looking to take the early engagement. He even gets the timing here on Nova, so instead he'll choose to fight Alpaca. A lot of utility sent out, but he gets a smoke to support him, so he gets out. And this is team play that we also saw lacking from Honeydew. They look to be completely reformed with the change-ups they've made. It's Karoo definitely stepping up to be a valuable asset so far, even though it's a stand-in. Very interested here to see how this goes, as Snorlax is flanked up, but the utility is there to counteract it. And now we're seeing the plant go down. Yeah, like you said, a free site here.
We need to see what Snorlax can do because Honeydew knows Snorlax is somewhere near this B position. So, but if Snorlax finds any value on this, you gotta feel like Honeydew. It's really hard as he finds a lot of room. This could be really good for him.
Yeah, Snorlax getting those timings that we've known him for, gets the first kill, and even able to just pick up the second and the third. Great shots from Snorlax to completely gut Honeydew here, as it's all left up to its Karoo and Waffle in an impossible situation. The fourth and almost the fifth. Alpaca steals it from under his nose, but no matter what, GFU will be feeling good about that round.
I report Alpaca. I'll go first. That is harassment. As I mean, we saw. I mean, I haven't been able to see it in a while. Of course, you did cast GFU recently, but I finally got to see one of my favorite Snorlax flanks again, which always is just so much fun to see. We haven't seen it too much from this game. That was actually one of the first times he's gotten value off of it. But I mean, either way, that was beautiful. Finding the 4.5k and just a very nice round for GFU as they win 4 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, that is the X factor for GFU so much. Like I said, they very much play around Snorlax, and with this, he's found a little bit of confidence as well. He's possibly managed to slip the net once again as he's lurking up through this garage position. The rotates come in. They've committed 4 players just to contain this one player. And the Owl Drone even will go out, so he's completely noted. He's going to have to fall back. But Minty on the other side of the map has managed to get an opener, so this allows them to just go into this A site. And Snorlax is still a menace here on the C site. Inside of Garage is just a ghost in the night and just slips away into mid. This is his playground.
And on the other side of the map, we saw Minty take down D Blue with the Outlaw. So it makes it a 3v5 for this retake, and it does feel like Honeydew don't want anything to do with it, and they're just going to completely back off. And like you were saying before, Snorlax just a beautiful push through garage window. He didn't find anything, as of course killing the Owl Drone, but then sneaks away, finds Kiru on the C box position. I don't know what to call that. My apologies. I am bad at this job. But either way, that was beautiful, and it's a 3v.
Called stage.
It's a win for GFU. Yeah, stage. There we go.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be 11-11 now.
Hey, I got flamed by Twitch chat for calling Rubble, what was it, Ruins, which, like,
Ruins, yes.
I play with CS and Siege players a lot of the times, all right? Those are callouts in Siege, don't at me, all right? I'm definitely outing myself here for my history in terms of gaming. Yeah, I mean, look, sometimes you make your own callouts for games, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I've made my own, but I don't think I can say it on cast. I mean, you've sworn a little bit, but you know, it starts with a B, and you know.
My favorite call out is Snorlax flank. That's my favorite.
That's a great call out, honestly. That's best call out NA is Snorlax flank. Dude, he's just going, man. Look at him. He's already up mid. Well, this guy has got so much confidence off of one completed flank. It's the epitome of, I may have failed 50 times, but I got success, and that's why I'm proud. That's why I'm confident, right? It's just...
I mean, Waffle's utility is watching it too, so I'm not going to get too much value as we only see 3 guns on the side of Honeydew, but we get season trades coming out from C, and Snorlax can't find anything as Mimosa picks him off as they hit the A site here.
And they even know that this is coming down on the A site as well, as the Rolling Thunder will go out, but there's nothing to work off of it, so maybe a little bit of overzealous utility there. And Karoo is already up on this flank. It's going to come down. He actually turns back towards sewers, and he will surely get this kill on Aaron Red. Gets the upgrade alongside it. Sends out a smoke, but actually not able to do so. And Nova is going absolutely huge here. Leaves it, though, in a 1v2 over Alpaca. A little bit of trigger discipline, and Mimosa dies falling out of heaven. This is falling apart for Honeydew.
It's an Alpaca clutch in an... Oh my god, that is one of the funniest things I've seen. I might have to put that in the highlight reel because that was tragic, as the side of GFU now have matched point, winning 6 in a row. Honeydew will have some decent guns, 2 light shields, and a lower gun for Waffle with the Bulldog. But my god, that is a tragic round to lose after a 2v1, not knowing where Alpaca was and being able to finish it off.
Yeah, Nova has picked up his pace once again, and this is terrifying for Honeydew. He's so confident, reinvesting the operator, and even popping the blade storms. They want to secure this here. May as well. There is no next round unless it's game over or overtime, so commit everything you have to this attack.
Here.
Yeah, definitely. And the only ultimates are on the side of GFU as well. Waffle, if he gets to ult, ooh.
And Nova very aggressive up the A position, and so now he's going to get the opening pick here. It has been opener after opener here lately for GFU, and so now Snorlax can just slot into this mid position and give callouts. He gets the spot onto it's Karoo, and he even gets the kill. Nova actually yoinks it, but he's used to it at this point, and all he cares about is the neural theft that is going to allow them to just stroll into the C site, and GFU have seemingly completed the comeback on Haven.
That neural theft is so huge as we see Snorlax going up through mid, potentially going to find the rest of players Honeydew. Julie is very aware and now knows 100%, but either way, that was so cleanly played from GFU. They get the neural theft, knowing exactly where Honeydew is, and this does feel almost impossible as they have no really way of defending this.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a problem player here, and another problem is Nova. Red hot like a supernova, as he's going to get another one. Mimosa to equalize and gets two, but Snorlax has slipped the net, and he will possibly collect here, but Mimosa manages to get it. Aaron Red, though, closes it out with a double shock dart from the lineup, and it's going to be a 13-11 victory on Haven for GFU.
That was so tragic. That was so close for Honeydew, but just a couple of misplays ultimately end their game as we see GFU picking up a map on their favorite map of Haven. Next, we are going to be heading over to some Lotus, something we've seen from all these teams really a lot. So I really want to see maybe Honeydew try and get back in the rhythm of winning, as we saw them throw a lot of rounds, which definitely did help GFU, as Nova just completely crushing the competition.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Haven and Lotus are kind of just our summer homes, but I mean, GFU looking really strong. We'll see if it's going to be countered on Lotus, but we'll be pulling Snorlax in here for a post-map interview here. Snorlax, congratulations on winning a tight game on Haven.
Yo, thanks out there. Appreciate it, dog.
So I actually kind of wanted to ask you a specific question. As the IGL of the team, you will know these inner workings more than anybody. But
No, Aldaria, hold up a second. I don't mean to interrupt you. We got Alpaca as the IGL, bro. I'm sorry. I gotta make sure that that's on. Gotta make sure that that's on there. But please continue your question. Sorry.
All right, we'll have to update that. But I mean, usually we see teams built around their star players. For you guys, it would obviously be Nova after that match. Certainly a standout performance, but many teams go that route. But instead, it seems like a lot of your team is built around you as your sentinel and flank player. How does your team really play around that? How did that kind of come to be?
You know, Aldaria, it's pretty funny, bro. Like, I would want to go for these lurks, and my team would be like, "Dude, why are you not with the team?" And they'd be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And so it's like been a kind of like a trial and error sort of thing, trying to figure out, timings, how to get these different players and see how they're gonna react. So it's like I take things like as a game by game basis, like reading these guys. Honeydew is a great team, and they were reading me pretty good, and I think I was just kind of like playing maybe how they wanted me to play. And so I just said, okay, it's time for me to play how I want to play. And I kind of just started being more patient, stopped doing stupid stuff like I can do sometimes, and sometimes when you do other stupid things, they work out. So
Yeah,
It definitely did.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
It definitely did look like Honeydew kind of like pushed you into playing with your team instead of like doing your normal lurks and flanks that we usually see from you. But eventually it finally did work, and you did find 4 kills, and then a stolen ace from Alpaca. I just wanted to hear what your thoughts were on that.
I had that. He took it from me. Him and I are right next to each other in the LAN. So I looked over at him and I screamed, but it wasn't mad because I don't care. I just want to win the round. But it looked like I might have been able to do it. But you know, at the end of the day, I don't really care. I just want to win, bro. I just want to win. So and you know, Alpaca's my boy. So he's been sitting next to me this whole time, every single game. So we're holding down the fort at the arena.
Yeah, I mean, and you said no matter what, you guys just wanted to get the win, and what a win it was. You guys were at quite the deficit there, and then you managed to go on a massive streak at the end. So I just kind of wanted to ask, how did you guys recover? What was the comms kind of looking like, and what was the bounce back moment for you guys?
I think that we kind of all just had like different ideas of how we wanted to try and solve the problem. But then once we called the timeout, we kind of just like all got on the same page. And so we were just like, okay, this is all of the data that we've collected from these, you know, rounds that we've been losing. How can we change that? And then just thinking about playing how we want to play and not playing to how the enemies want us to play. Going back to what I was saying earlier, um, but it's just like staying level headed and then staying focused in the moment. I mean, it's like we like Haven, you know. That was our map pick. It would have been a little bit embarrassing if we lost it again, and it's our favorite map. So yeah, we just wanted the win, bro. Let me tell you.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
well,
Speaking of maps,
oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Speaking of
Man,
maps, though,
you
you
guys love
are.
each other.
Oh, yeah, oh, trust me, we do.
We
You guys are
finished
actually
eating those
heading to
sandwiches.
Lotus next, and I just wanted to ask what your thoughts are heading onto Honeydew's map. We haven't seen them pick it lately, but we know they have been somewhat strong on it in the past. So I just want to ask how comfortable you are going onto it.
Hey, I mean, Honeydew. They're a great team. They got great coach and stuff, and you know, we're just gonna try to do what we did the last game and try to play our game. I like Lotus. Let me tell you, I like Lotus. I think my team likes Lotus, and we hoping that we can get the dub on this map.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a masterclass there on Haven. 7 rounds straight to secure the comeback and throw it over to Lotus. As for us, we're going to be taking a quick break here. We'll be back in 5 minutes to get into that map itself.
Until you find your way back home. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown. I can't regret leaving you alone until you find your way back home.
Like the attention, girl, I know you. But you're everything I want in life. We're fighting danger like kung fu. The love I feel is deep inside. The others don't matter. It's honestly us against the world. We're the perfect team. You're my dream, and I just want it.
Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself.
Baby, if you ever need a helper, you should know that I'll be there day and night. Nobody else can love you better. I'm here just to treat you right. You're the reason I'm alive. You're the only pain I can endure. But when you're not here, you're my dream, but I just wanna. Yeah, I just wanna. You're my dream, but I just wanna.
Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself.
But I just wanna.
Deep inside, I knew from the start, you my bunny, I'm your Clark. From now to eternity, I give you all my heart. We are meant to be, it's clear to see. My love is bigger than I thought. I got everything I want when I hold you with my arms. The others don't matter, my love and my pleasure, the key to my treasure. Whatever's the weather, day up and out with you till I die. How many times for you I'ma try? Want you to notice the one and I know this. Perfect soulmate, I wanna show it. My best friend, she saved my life, my happy end in hard times.
Oh baby, hug it to myself, hug it to myself, hug it to myself. I just want it.
Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself.
Okay.
Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself.
Oh baby. When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, I fall to you before the memory's gone. I remember you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how.
Alrighty, we are back here and getting over into Lotus. Man, if it's been so long since we've been here, Rhodes, you know?
Oh wow, it's been decades. You know what? It's been about a couple days.
Yeah, a few days. I mean, a bit longer for you, you know,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you abandoned me.
My
Still haven't
bad.
forgiven you. How did you escape the basement, man?
Well, you see, there's actually a tiny crack from the last person that was there, and I just actually broke through it with the hammer you left when you're hitting me with. Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
I
Yeah,
keep
we're
losing
going to Lotus.
co-casters, man. But yeah, I
We're-
mean, going over to Lotus here, it's I'm excited for it. I'm particularly excited about something right now that I'm seeing in the character select, but I'm pretty sure that Snorlax is just trolling me. Why you got to do this to me? You know I want to see some ISO, but
We
I
know
mean,
that's going to be a Sentinel.
there's no way Snorlax picks ISO. He's gonna be going on to Killjoy or Cypher, probably Killjoy. Although,
Most likely.
correct me if I'm wrong, I think we've seen him play Cypher on Lotus before, haven't we?
I'm not
feel
sure,
like we have.
but I wouldn't be surprised because I mean, Cypher is pick that he loves to do, but it is going to be the Killjoy, and no
Yeah.
Yoru either.
And we're going to see once again this head-to-head of D Blue versus Nova. It was looking a little bit competitive for a bit there on Haven. D Blue was starting to close that gap, picked up the op, was doing pretty well with it, but then Nova realized, oh, ops are on the board. Okay, picked up a zone and quickly jumped up to 34 kills to close it out.
Yeah, definitely. And these comps are almost mirrored, just the change of Julie on the Breach and Alpaca with the Gecko. So I'm really interested to see how these teams do. As we know, Lotus has been a pick of Honeydew before. Hasn't picked it in a while, though. They kind of like changed off it for a bit. But now we see them back on it with hopefully some new and more fun strategies, as we saw some nice stuff from Mimosa in that game. I really liked some of the calls that we did see, but it did feel the lows were a bit too low for them to actually win the map overall.
I mean, how much more low can you get than being up 11 to, I believe it was, what, 6?
It was around 6, yeah.
Yeah, because they went 7 rounds straight to win it, so they had to have been at 6. You don't get much worse than that. You're 1 round off of match point, and then it's just 7 straight from your opponents. That's really tough pill to swallow, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely, especially since Honeydew were so close to getting their first map of the tournament, and it just fell right through their fingers. And I mean, we'll see what they can do on this Lotus pick. We did hear from Snorlax that they are somewhat confident on Lotus as well. So I really want to see what GFU and Honeydew can do against each other, because both of these teams can streak really well, like we saw on Haven. A lot of good streaking from both of them, but I need to see someone step up.
Yeah, and I mean, we mentioned as well, we see a lot of role changes out here from Honeydew. Earlier, we were talking to Snef? Jesus, I cannot speak today. Snef. She's going to talk to me for that one. But I've been talking to Steph, and like we said, she's been in the kitchen cooking, doesn't quite know if it's a pastry or a burnt pizza, in her own words. And so far, it's looking pretty delicious as they get the opener onto It's Karoo, and a lot of pressure here on the door as well. It's Karoo gets a second onto Minty. This forces a lot of pressure onto the rest of the GFU players as they need to step up in the 3v5. Aaron Red and Alpaca are going to have their eyes on them. Nova to contribute as well, but Alpaca going down means Nova has to go nuclear once again, and Aaron Red will clean it up as well. A beautiful recovery on the pistol round, and GFU secure.
Nova, the last man standing on top, as, I mean, that looked so good for Honeydew. It was a 3v5. Kiru finding Snorlax on the, just sitting in their spawn. And then, of course, finds another pick. But Nova and Aaron Red just finished it off, find 2 or 4 kills between the two of them. And then Nova kills Aaron Red because they're a bad person. But anyway, yeah, we saw a good round overall from GFU. That was a very nice, I would say, clutch for them.
Yeah, I mean, big 3K for Nova, even though one was on your teammate. But, at the end of the day, like Snorlax said. Yeah, Snorlax said, rounds are round. They don't care how they get it. They just want to get these wins. So now they're teed up for an early lead on Lotus.
Yeah, and they have a free C site. Of course, they don't know that, but they're about to, as they're going to need to, Honeydew is going to need to play a full 5v5 retake, most likely, depending on what Snorlax does do here, because we know Snorlax is a freak and likes to do these crazy plays, is playing with Aaron Red as well, so they might go for some sort of double flank, as a plant will eventually come down with the wingman. Going to be planted for Mound, which is really good when they're the ones with guns as well.
Yeah, but a lot of it is Spectres. We've got 4 Spectres on the board and 1 Bulldog. Not the best weapons for long-range spam, so maybe we could see Honeydew spiral this round. It's going to be up to Minty, top of the site, trying to find some value and won't get any, so Nova has to trade it back. It's Karoo, goes down, and it's a Snorlax flank coming in, but exactly what I said, the spam is difficult. Aaron Red does manage to find it. Waffle keeps it at an even man count, and this is starting to get out of hand. Nova and Waffle trading blows, but at the end of the day, Honeydew, you're running out of time and you're running out of chances here as Snorlax finishes off Mimosa. It is going to be a easy round, not easy, but secured round at least for GFU.
Yeah, like you said before, the 4 Spectres definitely did hurt GFU quite a bit, as the spam wasn't as effective as it could be, as Honeydew why can't I speak? Honeydew take a lot of damage onto GFU, which I think they'll definitely take. But like you said before, GFU don't really care about how they get these rounds. At least they get them. As with these short-range weapons, of course, they are on the bonus as well, so they're not going to be buying too much into us. They're going to go full tilt B. If they find Mimosa here, it could be really nice for them, as Mimosa's going to take the aggressive angle.
It's not often we see GFU add this much pace. Oh, Mimosa hitting the ghost there, but ends up going down anyways, so hopefully no issues will particularly come of that. Nova with a very aggressive stance here and even manages to avoid the boom bot. And so now what's really interesting how this is going to shape up, because we could see Honeydew burst through, but so much set up for GFU to be able to hold these.
Oh, look at Minty.
Could we be seeing the bonus here? Deep Blue manages to get one, but like you said, Minty in a prime position here is all going to come down to such a hectic decider, but it's looking like a GFU round as Minty, the linchpin of it, is going to pick up 3 and even the 4th. A beautiful pickup from Minty to secure the bonus.
A round that really could have went the way of Honeydew, even though Mimosa died. With the accidental ghost, the gun actually got pushed all the way into short, or into link, sorry. But it doesn't really matter, as Minty with a beautiful flank, finding 4 on the round. Apalka using the thrash as well to secure a kill to the player that was pushing up as well. That was just really well done from GFU, as we see another strong start from them like we saw in Haven. As we're going to see an early fight here. This could be a very interesting skirmish.
Yeah, this is just hands out the gate for these teams, and so far it's definitely going in GFU's favor, but it's looking to be a pace change from Honeydew. They want to take the fight to them, and it's not going their way. 2 kills is all they'll get. 3 will go down, and it's a scattered remaining players for Honeydew and a free A site for GFU.
I mean, it's not terrible damage. Of course, they are on the eco, so I mean, they will definitely take it. It does suck that they didn't come up with the player advantage, but I mean, I think they will take that at the end of this round, because in the overall numbers, it will help them. Hopefully, they can get 1 or 2 more Honeydew, but this round does look very easy to just finish it off and secure for GFU. But never say never, but GFU is playing really slow, so this ace site is very free.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, yes, it's a lot of economy damage, but at a point it starts to fizzle out the value of that if you just keep losing the rounds. We're already seeing GFU most likely securing 4 rounds unless we see some massive heroics from either Mimosa or Waffle, which we've seen these players able to step up before, but I mean, with the kind of weaponry they have, it's pretty unlikely.
And Aaron Red. That Odin go crazy.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see, but I mean, it could be possibly some recovered rifles from Honeydew, but they're deciding to just stick with these sheriffs, and like I said, this could very quickly get out of hand from that for them. They're gonna most likely be forfeiting this round as Snorlax to clean up Mimosa, not able to claim Waffle. Could we see a little bit more? It's actually getting a bit frisky from Waffle, but Alpaca holds strong and is able to stave off a round win from Honeydew.
I mean, yes, some economy damage. Yes, they could have went to pick up the guns, but like you said before, when they're stacking 4 now in a row, it does feel really bad for the side of Honeydew. But now we see some chances. We saw it happen before where GFU had a huge economy advantage. It looked like they were going to run away with the game, but Honeydew came back and actually took the lead. Yes, eventually they will go to throw it, but they did show that they can pull these type of things off, these economy advantages. So I'm really interested to see if GFU can hold it or if Honeydew can just outcall the other team.
I mean, Honeydew, you have to make some kind of adjustment, and that's exactly what we were saying on Haven. They did that, but it didn't end up working out. Nova's going to clear out some of the nano swarms, but not able to get actually the alarm bots. So they still have the access to information on this C side alongside the turret as well. So Nova will be noted as he's entering into this, but it is all a bait and switch. Look towards A. These A main players are looking to make a flank happen, but it's noted, and they're so set up to watch this flank. GFU could have a masterclass set up here. D-Blue manages to one-up Snorlax, but Alpaca is too strong and picks up a double alongside of Aaron Red, and this means that the A site is completely left open. From the shadows committed from Minty, he's looking to get some early value here in the heaven position, and it's going to force It's Karoo and Waffle to turn up the pace here, and they're not going to find anything. It's Karoo goes down, leaving Waffle in yet another 1v3. We saw some crazy shots with the Sheriff last round, possibly with the Vandal could make something happen. Almost giving a freebie onto Minty, but with the mosh pit sent out, he's actually barely able to evade it, and he even has the lockdown. This is doable here for Waffle. We've seen him be a hero before, and a beautiful shot. Is this going to be another Waffle clutch? The signature gets hit by the Dizzy, but able to avoid the peak, and so now Alpaca comes down to a raw duel, and he's able to right the ship, and its streak is kept alive for GFU.
It doesn't matter how you do it. It just matters that you get the round done. And Alpaca spoils Waffle's comeback twice in a row. No clutch for them, as we see 5 in a row for GFU. They take a really nice trade at the start of the round. They did go 2 for 2 in their spawn, but Aaron Red finding the extra kill in the B main side. Sorry. Definitely does help them with numbers, but eventually Waffle does have a chance, but it just doesn't work out enough, as we're going to see another eco from Honeydew. They do have a good amount of ults, but I mean, GFU is in the driver's seat like crazy. We might see something crazy from D-Blue here, as we know he likes to pull off some fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, this is getting out of hand for Honeydew. They need to start piecing some stuff together here, but Snorlax, being that thorn in the side that he's always known for doing, gets the opener onto Waffle. That's going to cause a little bit of dysfunction at this B site. Instead, it's just going to be a full rotate to the A site, so it's all left up here to It's Karoo with a Stinger to try and make something happen. We see these players for GFU all over the place. And so now this just leaves Honeydew in a position where they don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah, definitely. GFU's playing so well, just splitting like crazy, and Honeydew's just gonna back up completely. They're thinking it's B, but they don't actually know, as we get a Thrash to clear out the site. Showstopper from Nova. This is a lot committed onto Honeydew's eco round, which I think they will definitely take, as they're not going to find any value. But either way, they have a free site, player advantage, weapon advantage. This doesn't look good for them.
Yeah, 2 ults committed on an eco and on a free site is going to mean that possibly Honeydew can shift the tide of this round with the ultimates of their own, mainly that Showstopper. It's a beautiful shots from Mimosa to kick it off as well. Aaron Red is going to commit a Nightfall, but it's a response from Mimosa as well, as this is going to get so hectic. Aaron Red to pick up 1. Minty, what do you have in the back of the site? Manages to get 1. Snorlax on the flank picks up another, so it's up to Julie in the 1v3. Snorlax going for the knife kill. It could possibly throw away this round, as Julie able to stick the spike, holding it. Aaron Red, you have to pick, and it's gonna be a clutch for Julie on a thrifty rogue energy thrifty to make it for a first round Honeydew on the board.
Oh, Snorlax told us after we went off that he would try to do it, and I mean, he went for that knife. It didn't work out, of course, and Honeydew with a thrifty to potentially build off something. I mean, you need that for Honeydew. I mean, GFU are so far ahead in this game. And I mean, that was actually a lot of damage done to GFU with the Thrash and the Showstopper coming out. Of course, the Showstopper also came out from D-Blue, found nothing as a really nice position from Minty. But either way, Honeydew finding their first round of the half, we know they can potentially do something with it. So I'm really interested to see how they could potentially build off it. I want to see some teamwork. I want to see their team play with each other and not just rely on Waffle and Julie at the end of a round. And we need to see that come out from them, as it looks like a free C site for GFU will come out or not. They are going to back all the way off. Honeydew rotating as well. Both teams not really sure where the other player is playing, as Waffle throws the lockdown down and Aaron Red finds D-Blue.
Yeah, this could be a massive momentum switch for Honeydew. They now have the economy advantage, but it's going to start to whittle away as the lockdown gets really no value, and D-Blue goes down early as well. So this could go right back to GFU being on top. Nova gets information that it's Karoo behind the box, but he manages to win the fight, and Waffle as well, good for 1. So it's gonna be an even man count when all things are said and done. Aaron Red to keep it that way and looking to push the advantage possibly. Minty teleporting into the back of the site as well is gonna try and get this plant down. Alpaca sends in the wingman to do so. And so now it's a post-plant situation, 3v3, but Julie has the Rolling Thunder, the linchpin for this round, but Aaron Red has read this perfectly, sneaking into the heaven position, but the turret there is to spot her. And so now this is a position where Honeydew could once again string together this round. All relies on the Rolling Thunder potentially, but Waffle doesn't even need it, manages to win the fight. Julie commits the Rolling Thunder to CT because they're still afraid of this flank, but Aaron Red has repositioned. It is now in a prime spot to clutch it out. Gets the shot through the wall on Mimosa. It's all left up to Julie in the 1v1 and can't do it again. Aaron Red picks up a 4K and the 6 to get things back on track for GFU.
I'm not sure if Julie knew that Aaron Red was the last one alive. It didn't look like it. Maybe I was just lagging on my side of things. But Aaron Red finds a 4K, 12-3-3 in the game so far, playing so well. Especially, well, not just because they found the 4K, but just able to do a lot with their utility as well. Again, that did feel like a Honeydew situation where it felt like all the cards were in their hands and it eventually went away. And the Rolling Thunder not hitting Aaron Red as well definitely helps GFU, as we're going to see Honeydew back onto an eco, which you don't like to see, as they're 1-6 down in this game so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really heartbreaking. We saw that go the way of Honeydew last time. It was an intense situation like that, but GFU just able to get things right back on track, and they could possibly streak together another set of rounds here. As like you said, it's low economy for Honeydew. We have to see some trick plays out of them. Deep Blue is able to get 1, but both Julie and its Karoo going down is going to mean there's so much pressure on Deep Blue to perform here. They're just going to back off. He's going to have to try and win some kind of engagement here, but not given anything, as Aaron Red manages to just slip out. And this is looking like most likely a GFU round.
I mean, Honeydew went for something. They've been essentially doing that every single round, and now GFU finally humoring them, and it did go the way of GFU once again, and it doesn't look great for them. Of course, Honeydew are on the eco with essentially only sheriffs, but either way, you would hope that you don't give up that many picks, as now they're going to be planning 4 mound, playing 4-man there, and this looks so hard for Honeydew to try and retake with 0 ults. And not much they can do, especially Alpaca has Thrash, and if Snorlax wants to use it as well, has the lockdown. This looks way too hard for Honeydew to even contest.
I mean, no smokes either, so they just don't even have a way to contest this spam inbound unless they hit some banger shots. A lot of utility on the spike as well, and Nova's just going to keep up his red-hot performance throughout today. Mimosa clean with the Sheriff, but Nova's able to get a 3rd, and that's 7 for GFU.
We've seen some really nice shots from Honeydew with these sheriffs on these eco rounds, but of course it's not enough. GFU are just playing so strong and so good. They're not throwing their lead like they did on Haven, and now we're going to see a timeout from Mimosa. Steph needs the cook.
Yeah, we need to see something massive from Steph here, honestly. It's just too much right now, and if they let this get any more out of hand, they're not going to be able to make a comeback unless it's some massive heroics and also a throw from GFU. I mean, every team's best comeback is another team's worst throw, right? And
Yeah, definitely.
This would be nothing short of that if GFU lose this game. They're fully in control.
My player to look at right now, if you're a Honeydew fan and if you want Honeydew to win their first map of the tournament, you need to look at D Blue here. It needs to find this opening pick to open up the round, because it feels like it hasn't been able to happen so far, and that is the difference of what happened on Haven. Able to find that opening pick, usually on the Nova in general. So we need to find this, we need to see this, and that is going to try to accelerate Honeydew to try and at least make this a 9-3 or 8-4. You need something from him, or just something from his team in general, instead of just leaving Waffle and Julie alone every time. I'm really hoping to see Honeydew try and utilize their pressure more and just themselves in general.
Yeah, and I mean, this is to stave off a 05 performance for Honeydew. They've not been able to find any success so far, and it was looking like possibly Haven was going to be the start of something special with their role changes, but now they're seemingly back into their ways of unorganized, too much on individual effort that can't always perform. We need to see something, mainly just good team play, cohesion, and unity from the team. It's Karoo trying to step up and be that leader for the team, but Minty with the From the Shadows is just going to confirm that It's Karoo was backing off, so this means they can just take the site and commit the plant. Mimosa is able to take out Snorlax on the flank, so this keeps it at, keeps it at an advantage here for Honeydew. So they try to just flood into the site, but the mound position is too strong right now. Minty to trade it back, but Minty is just so strong in this mound position. Left in a 1v2 to try and perform, and can he do it? No, he can't. Mimosa picks up a third. So this is finally going to be Honeydew finding another round.
The IGL steps up to find the final 3 kills on that round. Or not the final 3 kills, sorry. Mimosa did find Snorlax on B, but found some really nice kills to give Honeydew some hope, some prayers. As we said, like I said before, we need Honeydew to find the opening pick, and we saw Kiru do that. And that is what you need, because I feel like people that what don't utilize as much in this game or don't think about is that if you find that opening pick, you have the advantage for the rest of the round, and you need to utilize that. And it feels like they did. They pushed as a team. They went on the site, and they found the player advantage to eventually overpower the side of GFU. It doesn't matter how good GFU's gunplay has been this game, if you're playing together and you're playing smart, as we finally see them pick up their second round of the game.
I mean, that's what's going to allow them to piece these things together, right? They know that the mechanics of GFU can certainly be something special. You learned that in Map 1 with Nova. And so now we're seeing a lot more team play. Mimosa is just set up by Deep Blue to succeed. I love to see something like that. It's not even traded back. And so now Deep Blue is able to push up, recover this rifle, and get out safely. Yeah, it takes a little bit of damage, but at the end of the day, you have a man advantage, you have rifles, you can make this work. Nova sending out the showstopper once again, another showstopper to find absolutely zero value. Alpaca getting the plant down means that this is going to be mostly for the mound positions. But Honeydew has won these before. Minty, though, has managed to slip the net. Gets one on the Mimosa. And yeah, now the Nightfall's off the board as it's 2 players committed forward. I'd almost rather see Nova be a little bit of passive and just see more pace, but they're just ignoring this flank. Why aren't they looking at it? It's Karoo gets taken out as well. And so now this is a really rough situation for Honeydew. Minty gets one more, so it's still a 2v2. Deep Blue trying to clear out this mound position, but detained are both the players from the lockdown. And so this is going to be a GFU round. Honeydew not able to string together more than 1 round at a time.
That looks... Oh, that is so heart-wrenching if you're a Honeydew fan. Minty going up through B site and just able to find the only player that really matters on this Honeydew round, which is Mimosa, with the Nightfall. That could have opened it up so much, as they would have found the 2 players and been able to play fine. But he's just picked off by Minty and gives GFU another round, making it an 8-2 half with 2 left to go. And it looks like Honeydew is going to be forcing it as well. So we're going to see some lower buys coming out for them and some half armors as well. As, I mean, it does hurt for Honeydew, but they need to somehow find this round. And that opening pick didn't help them as much as it should have.
I mean, this is almost disappointing at this point. Deep Blue, though, over the top rope, manages to get one, but was quick to trade it back and get a double as well onto Julian. Like I said, this is almost disappointing. It was looking so promising on Haven for a little bit for Honeydew. They finally looked like they started to find their stride. These role changes were looking really well, but I mean, I almost wonder if they're calling it into question here, because it feels like they're back to their old ways. A lot of these things are shaping up the way that we've seen them do before in this league. And yeah, Waffle able to anchor on the site, get 1 kill on a Minty, but that's the lowest player of GFU, and your position's now noted. All you have is a classic rather to hold off so much pressure.
They're leaving the gun too.
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of leave the site. Snorlax able to trade back onto It's Karoo, but this could possibly get out of the hand. Aaron Red will throw out the Nightfall, so that confirms that it's only Waffle here in this position. So they could try and commit the plant, but Waffle's just playing so triggered here, or so disciplined here, and GFU aren't even clearing him out. So this sets them up to possibly win this eco round. Snorlax, though, is able to best him, so it's left in a 1v1. Mimosa versus Aaron Red. Will the Fade Diff come through? But Mimosa's able to stabilize and get another round for Honeydew, so they at least get 3 on this half.
Mimosa, a clutch IGL, and I mean that was beautiful. I don't think that was a thrifty because they did low buy, but that did kind of feel in the way of just how GFU played, and it did feel like GFU definitely played a very disjointed on that round, which definitely did open up Honeydew, leaving Waffle to be able to find that pick as well onto the bomb planner, which wasted a lot of time for GFU, and it kind of did feel like they just played very weirdly down the stretch, which eventually gave Mimosa the advantage, having the Nightfall that wasn't able to be used the round before. So I'm really happy that Honeydew were able to find at least one more round, making it 9-3 potentially if GFU can win this. But it could be 8-4 as well.
There was just so much hesitation in that round, and something that we're not seeing here. Where was this decisiveness last round? Is it's just going to be a barreling into the B site. Plant's going to go down. They have man advantage. This is looking like a good round. Even the Thrash is sent out. This is surely a GFU round unless a massive flank comes in here. D-Blue at the helm of it, trying to get something going. It's only got a Guardian to work with, though, and as the position is fully noted, they're not going to be able to get the value that they're most likely looking to get with this. Lockdown will go down. Honeydew, what do you have for us? You need to put something forth here, because I don't think you can recover from a 9-3, and with both the Thrash coming out and the Detains coming in from the lockdown, this is such a hectic situation, but at the end of the day, it's looking like a GFU round as they're able to stagnate these players so well, and it's a 9-3 on the half.
We see some good things from Honeydew, and then it does feel like you said a few rounds ago, it goes back to their old ways where it feels like they're disjointed and just not, they don't have the courage to take some of the fights and some of the angles that I feel like we saw them take on Haven, which definitely gave them the advantage and have almost got them the win on the map. But we're just not seeing it on Lotus. Maybe it's because they haven't scrimmed it a lot recently or what. But it does just see that GFU is totally in the driver's seat, as there could be a potential 9-3 curse, you know? We haven't seen it yet. We've talked about it quite a bit on different games that we've casted, but it does feel like GFU have no quit or no stop of slowing down here.
It just feels like they're not at all decisive in what they choose. They're going for the fast flank through door, but they could catch the Gecko and the Thrash. It's not unreasonable for him to be where he is when he's popping that and trying to clear out CT with it. So why aren't they going quicker? Why are they hesitating and stopping? Yes, you have lower weaponry, but you have to make something happen. You have to be quick about these things, or else you're just going to stagnate like what we saw. They had no time for that. And so now they're looking to add some pace into this attack. It's quick onto the A site, but look at the flank. It's even faster there. There's 3 players, actually 4 players on this flank. And so now Snorlax is just stalling out in this CT position so that all these players from door can make the difference. Nova and Minty are looking to take the first contact off the pressure of the Dizzy, tap onto the spike, and they're not going to find anything off of it. This could be a round, but with the wingman on the defuse, doesn't quite get it to half. It's at the end of the day, it's Snorlax going to keep this at an even man count. Diving into the pin position, and he gets one more. It's now a 1v1, only 10 HP on him, but 30 on the other. This could come down to either side, but the spike's so low, you just have to play the time, Deep Blue, and that's exactly what he will do. He'll lose his life, but the round's secured. It's a pistol for Honeydew.
I mean, that looked really nice from GFU. I didn't like that all 4 went tree though, which I think definitely did screw them at the end. But either way, Honeydew just able to realize what GFU were doing. They pushed out to top and drop, so they actually were spread out in a nice defender position compared to where they were before, and they were able to find the nice picks, able to get everyone, and eventually it just came down to D-Blue and Snorlax, and Snorlax had no time at all. D-Blue could just chill. He wasn't even watching for Snorlax to push him, and it just ended up to be a pistol round for Honeydew, which we don't usually see. I know I said that last time, but oh, look at D-Blue. Or Nova, sorry.
Nova trying to get something going, but it's gonna just all fizzle out as it's Honeydew to weather this storm, and they are looking to make some kind of special comeback happen. Yes, it's only theoretically 2 rounds in. It could still go awry, but it's hard to see with the current advantages that they're holding. Massive economical difference and a man advantage to top it off. So they're just gonna storm into this C site. There's nothing Snorlax can do about it.
Nah, this is pretty screwed. We got a double flank from Aaron Red and Minty, going to be caught out by the alarm bot, so they are going to be waiting and hungry as a lot of damage done. Snorlax does find Julie, but I still don't think that there is any chance for GFU here.
Yeah, I mean, Minty manages to get one more, and Aaron Red could even find another one, so it's at a 2v2 here. This could get out of hand, but Aaron Red goes down to Mimosa, who's been a rock-solid player inside of Lotus. So now this leaves it up to Snorlax in the 1v2 with about half the timer on the spike to work with, and finally, we're seeing Honeydew playing some good Valorant. They're playing the time, playing doubled up on Mound, and they'll secure it.
Yeah, Mimosa finding some confidence as well. Just 17 and 11 now, the best player currently in the game, which is kind of surprising from how much Honeydew has been getting smacked around. But just, I mean, always a very solid player, always probably Honeydew's best player, and especially on the IGL role now, definitely does put a lot more pressure on their play and a lot more stress. So have been still really impressed with their individual performance so far. And I hope that Honeydew can kind of gather around behind them as they're still down by 4, but they've picked up the first, the pistol and the conversion, sorry. And I really want to see what they're going to do now, as they do have 2 Guardians, 2 Sheriffs, and a Phantom, which, I mean, they are decent guns, so they definitely can do something, but Snorlax has this Odin out the box. We know he loves to spam through this. This could go really bad, but they are actually going to rotate back around where we see Nova and Aaron Red pushed up all the way through. This could be dangerous.
Yeah, but Mimosa gets the opener, so now Nova is just going to be forced to get the trade and then fall back. It's looking like a possible B execute or A. It really depends, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Waffle get a little bit of information towards the B play and trying to send and set up his team to get something going there. Nova manages to elude the detection, and so it's all just going to be cut down inside of mid. Julian a 1v3 as Snorlax and I believe it was Alpaca just start to completely shut this round down. Nova finishes it off, and so now we're looking at a situation where GFU could stop this comeback before it even starts.
I'm really surprised Honeydew didn't go to A site there. It did feel like right when they make that change to go to A link over to B site, I mean, Minty was just waiting there, just staring it down, finds 2 kills. Snorlax finds one as well, just completely opening up the round. And it did feel like Honeydew had the advantage if they just pushed either through tree or just A site itself, because they knew only one player was there because Nova backed all the way up and they were playing so far up. I really feel like that is definitely something that needs to be called differently next time, as they lose a round where you cannot be losing rounds this late in the game. Here's the thing, they do have money. Sheriff, of course, on the Julie, but for the most part, they have guns. Deep Blue does have half shield. But I mean, both of these teams almost identical buys in a way. So I really want to see which team comes out on top here, because it can definitely shape the rest of this game.
There.
Yeah, at this point, it's do or die for Honeydew. I'm calling it now. If they lose this round, they won't have a way back in. Granted, that's kind of what we were saying last map about GFU, but it was a bit less of a mountain to climb, it felt like. And, I mean, honestly, Honeydew, we need to start seeing them... I need a little bit more to inspire confidence in me about them at this point. So I need to see how this goes, but Aaron Red gets the opener here inside of the rubble position. Nova also still set up at the top, and Aaron Red manages to evade death. Nova dropping down to the smoke could be the linchpin for this round, as he seemed to have slipped the net. It doesn't look like Mimosa's fully aware of it. He's in such a danger position here. He does manage to get Mimosa, but Deep Blue and Julie keep things even, as it's left in a 2v2. Snorlax and Alpaca rotating into the A site. Look to shut down Honeydew here. But as the paint shells come through, it's going to deal a little bit of damage. Deep Blue isn't considering it, though. It's a Snorlax is just able to swing out, hit the double, and that is going to crush the hopes and dreams of Honeydew fans.
Yeah, they really didn't think anyone could go drop, and they just never considered as Deep Blue was just watching top. And they just were able to push through with Snorlax just finding a nice double, gives themselves a lockdown. And this looks really hard for Honeydew. They need to find some sort of thrifty. They need to find some sort of damage and guns and round wins to win this. But it is looking so bad as GFU were able to find the round once again. And this is looking like map if we've ever seen it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it has to be a Rogue Energy Thrifty, or else we're going to see GFU on map and series point. Minty looking to just shred through this low buy, though, with the Judge. It can absolutely tear through light armor, and he looks to do that as nobody from Honeydew is checking the box. It's only good for one. Julie quick to trade it back, and this is going to be a round with some pace to it as the lockdown goes out. It's going to be an attempted plant, but the rest of Honeydew have to make something happen here. Snorlax with a double on the Nano Swarm, and this is all falling apart. They do get the lockdown taken out, so they're able to possibly stabilize this. Julie gets one, but quickly trade it back, so it's a 1v2 for Momosa on 5 HP. Can you pull a miracle out of nowhere as the hunter is just sent out and spots him out? He doesn't even have to spike here. Has to cross through Alpaca, and this crossfire is so perfectly set up. Mosh Pit goes out to just stall a little bit of time and force him into these crossfires, but he gets the opening. Aaron Red goes down, so now Mimosa, could you manage to pull off the impossible? It's in a 1v1, gets the ding through the wall. Dizzy sent out, but it's too late. Mimosa's already rotating towards the C site, so he'll be able to get this plant down, and it's a 1v1 for Alpaca here. Tap on the spike, though. Not fully sure where Alpaca's coming from, and he's a little bit of doubt in his head. Mimosa, do you have what it takes? Peeking in, covered by the pillar, gets the timing as well. Evil's able to sleep deep into the site here. Alpaca throws out the Dizzy and cleans it up, and so it'll be match point and series point for GFU.
Chaotic is the only word I guess you could say for that round, as just kills going back and forth. Mimosa almost able to clutch it out with that 5 HP. Just wasn't enough. You would have thought that they should use the Nightfall there, because they didn't know exactly where Alpaca was, and it just never utilized the ult, and now they are on match point for GFU, where Honeydew is definitely on the back foot of this game. They have 4 ultimates to use. 3 of them are useful. But they have 4 ultimates to use, and they have to find around here. They need to find something for them.
Why are you always throwing shade at from the shadows, man? Come on.
The most useful all in the game for the shadows for Minty and Kira. This is gonna be really useful here, as oh, here we go. Amazing vision, amazing ult from Minty. It goes crazy. They're gonna win the round off it.
Well, hold up, because now this is shaking up Deep Blue, missing the paint shell, so it's going to be the commitment of both the Nightfall and the Showstopper into the site. And so now it's pretty interesting, as it's going to be a post-plant situation. Can GFU pull it off? They throw out the Thrash, and Deep Blue's able to take it out and even get the kill onto Minty here. So now, Alpaca, do you have what it takes? Nova in the back with a Showstopper, but could make a lot of damage happen here. It's Peru, though, able to stabilize. Snorlax, good for 1, good for 2. Keeps this at least a reasonable man count. It's only 3 left here for Honeydew, and 2 to make the map sealed away for GFU, but the Rolling Thunder will come through and surely shut down this round as Julie picks it up. And so now Aaron Red left in an unwinnable 1v3. Tap on the spike is, it's already to half, but with the fault line, or the aftershock rather, coming out, is just gonna eat it to the face.
Yeah, I mean they finally won a round, you know. I honestly think since Minty used from the I think using the from the shadows from Minty lost them the round, because it actually put a nerf on their team, making Honeydew win in the ult usage race. And now that Kiru is the only one with from the shadows, they actually are going to win every single round from here out.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
think,
for sure.
yeah, so Honeydew actually win this game now, as they actually do force the bonus, or sorry, not the bonus, the eco coming out from GFU, as they can maybe get 7 on the board, but they're pushing up so fast.
Yeah, but it's not going to see any fruitful rewards. Nova goes down early to Mimosa, who has been such a active part of Honeydew's success, and looking to kick off another round here, as it's just Minty to hold off this B site, but that's not where the execute's coming in. It's coming in on the C site, and the From the Shadows is committed as well to just make sure that it's clear. This is looking like a Honeydew round all the way.
Yeah, definitely, and it does feel hard for GFU to actually get back onto the site, as Honeydew just completely around it, as they're going to be planning for Mound, which is a very strong position, especially since GFU don't have any long-range weapons as well. This does feel very impossible, as they're going to be losing a lot of time clearing the site as well. I am confident in saying this is a 7th round for Honeydew.
Yeah, I mean, with how aggressively Honeydew has been playing their post plants here, it's forcing GFU to commit more utility than a lot of than they want to into this retake. Smokes are sent out, so they still have that, but the mountain positions are looking too strong. Start of a stick onto the spike, and Aaron Red's already gotten it to half. Honeydew, where's the spam? Finally, it connects from its Karoo, but it's at half, so this could just be taken away. No time though, and Alpaca with the smokes fading won't be able to get it. A little bit of a scare for Honeydew, but they're able to secure the 7th.
I had faith. They knew. They're just putting the suspense for us as casters, just to, you know, try and scare us a bit. But yeah, that was good from Honeydew. Obviously, getting the spike, getting the half, and well, further, was definitely very scary. But I think Honeydew were just very clearly fine there. They played it very nicely. They did lose a few members, but overall, that's what you want to do. They actually have a very nice economy. They can't really lose rounds now, obviously, but their economy is nicely if they do die, as there's going to be some potential damage here at A, as another aggression taken from GFU.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Honeydew is looking to make one of the best comebacks we've seen happen. They're trying to manifest it, and D Blue is stepping up round by round. It's Crew to pick up another one as well. And so now this C site is looking, or this A site rather, is looking so vulnerable for GFU, as all of Honeydew are barreling in towards it. Waffle in a prime position as well to cut off Mindy. Easiest kill of his life, and that is going to secure it most likely for Honeydew.
Honeydew lovers, we are seeing some. So I feel like this is what we saw from Mimosa last time as well, just starting to call better throughout the game. Yes, it is kind of a bit late, but you are starting to see the ideas and all the thoughts coming into around, and I'm actually really enjoying watching them right now, because you can see how competitive they are compared to, I feel like, the last time we saw them. They are starting to get rounds together. It's 8-12 now, and they are picking up quite the lead. You got to think that GFU might be sweating a bit, because they've been in this position before. They've thrown games before, they've thrown series before, but I don't know. It is still out of Honeydew's reach, but it is in their grasp if I'm sipping my copium cup.
Yeah, I mean, Mimosa is trying to concoct an amazing comeback here, and so far it's going well. They've managed to piece together a good amount of this. They're about halfway there from when they started, so they just have to get 4 more here to push it to overtime. That's just for overtime. Bright side, it's an eco once again for GFU.
Yeah, you just need... Honeydew needs to play with discipline. They need to play smart. I hope Alpaca sells this hero rifle, because it doesn't really make sense. Okay, we're having a hero rifle on Alpaca. They're gonna... Oh, sorry. My apologies to that from last round. I'm dumb. Anyway, we see Nova pushing up again, and it hasn't worked out so far, so it actually... He does get away, but it has hurt quite a bit sometimes.
Yeah, Alpaca saving this rifle for right here, trying to get something going. Almost would have rather him throw it to another player who has shields to try and get a little bit more value out of it, but we'll see if he's able to pull something great off with it. Or perhaps we could see somebody else from GFU stepping up. Waffle on low HP is going to take this engagement with Nova, and it could go either way. Damage being traded back and forth, and both players are just going to give up the fight. But instead, Nova comes back with a friend. Minty's here to help, but still, it's just being given up.
They are they're playing very slow, Honeydew, as it looks like they're going to be attacking the C. Snorlax here with a Bucky could go huge. Alpaca here, of course, with the no armor Phantom. This could go really nicely for them. Here we go.
Yeah, trigger discipline here from Snorlax, though. Doesn't manage to get anything for his efforts. And so now this sets up all of GFU into a rough situation, as with the lower weaponry, they have to make a 2v5 retake happen. Minty looking to be the spearhead of this assault, as Nova's on such low HP and not able to get anything. Nova finds 1, but it's only gonna be 2 pot, most likely, as spotted out. Mimosa will finish it off.
That could have been really bad. Snorlax with a Bucky in a prime position fires 2 shots, but no dice. Honeydew able to come out essentially clean in that scenario. Yes, they did drop two a nice pistol shots from Nova. But either way, Mimosa's cooking right now, and we need to see a lot more, as they still need 5 rounds to win the game. In general, 3 to tie it, as we have a Nightfall for Mimosa. We've seen some decent usage, I guess you could say, from them, as Snorlax also has a lockdown with Aaron Red Nightfall as well. A lot of ultimate utility on the side of both, or not on the side of both teams, but some utility on the side of both teams, which could definitely come into play this round. You gotta feel for GFU, if you just play smart and disciplined, you can use these ultimates to win it, as we see another CA split here, which could be interesting, as we know they don't usually commit Honeydew for this A, but you know, never say never.
I mean, multiple players also not far off of their ultimates. Any of these rounds could spiral out of hand in a moment's notice. Deep Blue could get 2 or maybe an orb in 1 and be able to pop the showstopper. And I mean, same thing for Nova. This could go either way at this point. It's going to be a Nightfall committed onto the A site. Aaron Red and Alpaca, what do you have for us? Are you just going to forfeit it? But instead, it's just all of Honeydew falling back. And it's not even a bite here from GFU. They hold strong in their positions. The C site is a little bit weak here, as Snorlax is playing far back in the waterfall position. Its Karoo will confirm that, and the lockdown even to go down to make sure that they secure this site. It's going to be another post plant for Honeydew.
Yeah, they used the Nightfall to try and like bait out on A. It just doesn't really move GFU much, but they do get the lockdown from the orb, which definitely helps a lot as they plant for a mound, and now it's going to be a 5v5 retake. We've seen these retakes go a variety of different ways. Deep Blue taking an aggressive angle with Julie.
Yeah, it depends on how this CT fight's going to go. Aaron Red deciding to commit the Nightfall into it, and even the lockdown going in as well. So all of the ultimates being committed for GFU. It's now or never. They're trying to step up here. Aaron Red gets 1, but it's quick trades back from Deep Blue and Mimosa. But with this lockdown going out, they're all forced back to mound. This is going to come down to the spam, and Snorlax is good on the coverage, but everybody goes down in a moment. And now Alpaca left in the 1v2. Sends out Wingman. Manages to get 1 and 2 from the mound position, but Deep Blue in a spot to secure it. And so this comeback stays alive for Honeydew.
5 in a row for Honeydew. That is another eco for GFU. Alpaca gonna call that timeout, and I really don't like what Nova did there. Jumped on the spike when you still had your Gecko alive. He had the Wingman in hand, ready to put it on, and Nova just dies from the spam. That is definitely not what you want from your duelist, to die like that and not be able to play for the kills, which definitely does hurt them. But either way, Honeydew playing that really well. Deep Blue finding a very late, nice flank that definitely finds a lot of value as well. Overall, Honeydew, they need 2 rounds to tie it, and they force GFU onto an eco here. This is very good for them now.
Yeah, I almost wonder if GFU is going to try and off the back of this timeout, find some kind of force buy win instead of going for the eco. It's that, or push this to 24 rounds, all rounds of regulation, and try and pull it off in their last rifle. But it has been all Honeydew in the rifle rounds, so I wouldn't be opposed to seeing some kind of switch up here.
For me, I think I want GFU to just completely save this round, have full money for next, because they have a showstopper and they have Thrash next round if they end up dying with Nova and Alpaca. I think they can use those rounds to completely win the game from them. And we saw them utilize them last game on Haven in the last rounds too, which definitely helped them progress and win the game overall. So I also want to see what Deep Blue does here with his Showstopper, because that could definitely just secure this round. But I kind of want him to potentially keep it if he's confident enough, as Julie might get picked.
They don't check the corner though, so now it's gonna be, this is gonna be so difficult here. Nova playing the trigger discipline, they just back off, and so he doesn't get any value. I thought that maybe this was gonna be a disadvantage for Honeydew, and so they'd have to try and recover, but instead they just pull back the curtain. So now Nova in such an awkward position, lurking back up. Waffle, will you go down with only one? Yes, Nova only takes the one, but rifle recovered, and man disadvantage here for Honeydew, as it's now the green light on the A site with this. Julie gets Minty, so now this is at least sustainable for Honeydew. Can they pull this off? Can they keep the dream alive? They're rotating back towards the C site. The rotations have been pulled, and the shadow is committed as well. So it's going to be all up to its Karoo to hold it off. 3 defenders rotating in quick here. What can he do? Can he hold strong? Nova committing this showstopper, wants to claim the site, but its Karoo is able to hold strong. Traded back by Alpaca, but Deeble gets it. And so we could be seeing Honeydew being able to push this to all rounds of regulation. What do you have for us, Aaron Red? You've managed to recover a rifle, and you have some armor to work with. Snorlax as well with a Bulldog, so this is possibly a chance, but all these mound positions are set up for the spam, and this is just so rough. Honeydew have also managed to scare the Rolling Thunder. They're not even going to need it though. The fault line sent out. The time is running low. Both players caught. And so now these mound players are able to clean it up, and we're going to need all 24 rounds.
We are heading to the final round of regulation. This is where Honeydew did fall last time, but this time they are in the driver's seat. They've won 6 in a row, looking for number 7. We have hopefully a full buy. It won't be totally as some guns. We're gonna see some half armor probably from Snorlax and Minty. It looks like Snorlax is actually going full armor Bulldog. That's gonna be interesting. And we have a Rolling Thunder for Julie. That is so huge. But on the other side, of course, the From the Shadows and the Thrash, which is very useful for the side of retaking these sites for GFU, as both these teams going to take very passive positions, going to go slowly, just splitting around From the Shadows, looking to get some information from Minty. And yeah, they're completely split right now. They want to find some information, as Deep Blue and Nova could potentially find each other, depending on what Nova wants to do here.
Opening engagements for Honeydew has been the determining factor so much, and they lose D Blue. Nova able to one-up him on when it matters most. It is back against the wall for both of these teams. Could we see another 13-11 map win? Or will this Honeydew clutch continue chugging along? Minty with a great trap play set up, but Mimosa is too sharp, takes out Aaron Red. And so now, Minty, what are you able to stand for? Can you get multiple of these players? You don't have your teammate to bait for you, and it's all going towards this B site as well. So now, Minty throws out the Paranoia, but it doesn't do anything. It's going to be all up to the retake, and the Thrash goes in early, but it's going to miss as well. A beautiful teleport from its Karoo to keep Honeydew in this. And so now it's so much pressure onto the side of GFU. Nova and Snorlax, though, contribute to the Rolling Thunder is still online for Julie, though. It's Karoo. Can you stand strong? No, you can't. Nova's too good. 3K on the round, and this could possibly fizzle out. Julie in a 1v3. Spike to half, but Julie with a beautiful flash and a dink through the wall. Could you get the 1v2? No! It's gonna be 13-11. GFU secure the 2-0, and they knock Honeydew back into the drawing board.
Honeydew so close from the 9-3 curse. Nova shuts the door, finding the opening kill on the D-Blue, and finds 3 more on site. The Rolling Thunder doesn't do enough for Julie, and your winners of this series is going to be 2-0 for GFU in this high-octane series, which could have gone either way. What a match.
Definitely an improvements in form here for Honeydew, but it is not enough to stand up to GFU. Like you said, they secure 2-0 on the series, and as a result, 2-2 in the league, I believe, as we're going to be bringing in Nova for the post-match interview Certainly a high intensity game for them. Hello, Nova. Congratulations on the 2-0 victory over Honeydew today.
Thank you, thank you.
I just kind of want to ask you guys about this series. Were you guys expecting the maps to turn out the way you did? Obviously, you guys love Haven. It is your go-to map. But Lotus, we've seen you guys struggle a little bit on. Were you guys expecting to go here, and were you happy that the map veto went that way?
I think we were a little bit more worried about Fine, but I think overall that since we got to have our first ban, then after that, I think the rest of the maps kind of fall into our map pool. So I think even though we've like struggled on Lotus in the past, I think we just needed to have some more confidence on it. And like we knew what we needed to do. We just had to execute it. So.
I wanted to ask, so you guys won your first series a few weeks ago now against New Jeans, and you went on a bit of a 3-game skid. And now you guys finally are able to snap your 3-loss streak. So I just wanted to ask how you're feeling about that.
A lot, like it feels so much better. Like I feel like we're communicating better as a team. We're playing better trades. We're retaking cohesively. Sure, there's some few moments that there's hiccups, but overall, definitely, I think our team's improved a lot.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a much more collective team effort there on Lotus. I actually kind of wanted to ask you a question regarding Haven as well. You had an absolute standout performance on Haven, 34 kills, I believe, by the end. And on Lotus, we didn't see you quite able to replicate that success. Did that kind of weigh on you throughout the match?
No, I just knew that my teammates had my back, and I didn't have to do as much as I did on Haven. Lotus is especially the map lends to more of a team play environment, and Haven just like I get a lot of 1v1s. Yeah, they supported me, and I'll do my job, and they're doing their job, so that's just the way it's got to be.
So you guys do pick up your second game of the tournament so far, and next week you guys are actually going to be versing RME, which is a very aggressive and strong team with one of their most aggressive players in the tournament, which is Rudy Rojos, that just teleports and likes to shotgun and buck you guys. So I just wanted to know your thoughts coming into that matchup next week.
Yeah, I mean, we can't play too much into the enemy team. We got to play our game. The more we worry about them, the less we know about us. As long as we focus on what we do best, our defaults are pretty great. As long as we can execute what our game plan is, then I think we'll be able to win.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of want to pick your brain once again. Going back to Haven, you guys managed to pull off a pretty great comeback there on Haven, but then over on Lotus, it was a bit of the opposite story. You guys were up, I believe, 12-6, and it went all the way to a 12-11 or a 13-11 victory for you guys. I kind of wanted to ask, how do you guys stabilize when your opponents are making such a massive comeback and they are streaking together these rounds?
Yeah, definitely taking a timeout. I think the biggest thing to snowballing rounds is eco. On Haven, we ended up turning a tide on a couple rounds, and that snowballed our eco into kind of being dominant. So we had a lot of advantages in that. And then kind of when you start snowballing rounds, the other team definitely has a read, or your team has a read on the play. So taking time out, being able to switch things up, and then or getting back to what was working earlier, is kind of the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, you guys certainly were able to close it out there and stop that miraculous comeback from Honeydew. So, congratulations on that, and congratulations on winning this series overall. I'm sure you guys are happy over at the GFU camp. As for us, we will be calling it there for the night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time.
Awesome. Thank
Adios.
you.